Calls for change go on in Charlotte following the release of video showing the brutal police beating of Tyre Nichols in Memphis. That beating would lead to Nichols' death. Protests were held throughout the Queen City all weekend, and today groups gathered in Uptown once again to mourn the death of Nichols, speak openly about how it's impacted them, and also call for change across the nation, specifically to the way law enforcement conduct traffic stops. Police in Memphis pulled Nichols over before savagely beating him. The executive director of Freedom Fighting Missionaries praised Mecklenburg County Sheriff for ending regulatory stops last year, which ended traffic stops for certain non-moving violations. He says CMPD and law enforcement all across the country should follow suit.
Truly believe that if that was some policy in place, regulatory stops, not looking at traffic stops as if they're crimes of violence, that this may have been prevented in Memphis, Tennessee from a law enforcement standpoint. Unfortunately for us, these traffic stops can end in death. It is happening too many times around the country, beginning with a traffic stop and ending with someone losing their son or daughter.
And an update now on the consequences from this Nichols case. 2 more police officers face punishment for their response to the scene. Officer Preston Hemphill, who was relieved of his duty shortly after the beating, and another unnamed officer who has been relieved. Now, keep in mind, this is in addition to the 5 officers already fired and criminally charged in Nichols' death.
And 3 Memphis fire personnel called to the scene to treat Tyre Nichols have now been terminated over their handling of the incident. A statement from the Memphis Fire Department says they violated numerous MFD policies and protocols and failed to conduct an adequate patient assessment of Mr. Nichols.